If you had a large sum of money or won a lottery today, would you do the right thing with it? Most likely you're going to say yes, but I can pretty much guarantee the answer is going to actually be no. And I'm going to share with you how I know this and how I even done it too. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Jason, and I've been going around showing you what Johannesburg, South Africa is like. Most importantly, I've been sharing with you my life as a nomad as I'm traveling across the world and showing you, talking to you about success, what it is, and how to get it in the three areas of life that I focus on, which are happiness, health, and wealth. And so today I want to talk to you about it's a show out here in South Africa called I Blew It. And it's about people, whether they got a lump sum of money or won some money or had an accident and got money and then they got this big check at one time and they blew it. They blew the money. Most of them don't have much to show for it. And most importantly than that, though, is teaching a lesson of why luck is never going to work. Like most of us are have been conditioned to believe we got to be lucky or we need this big break. It's going to take something external from us to help us get to the life that we want. And the truth is, when those blessings do come to us, if we're not equipped with the knowledge that we need to handle them correctly, we're going to squander that money faster than we ever could imagine. And let me just be clear about this. Like, no person on this earth is, no one's free from this. Like, there's this big, the governments, media, all of these things, they try to make us feel like we're all different, like other parts of the world are better. Like here on the continent of Africa, most people think that, oh, Americans are living this great cush life. They just have money, everything that they want. There's no struggling, there's no suffering. People aren't really homeless. And the truth is, it's the same amount of issues no matter where you go in the world. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon. I didn't grow up with parents. And what I mean by that, I don't, even to this day, I don't know who my biological father is. I grew up by a single mom working her butt off to do what she can to provide for us. And what a lot of people don't get between that is that means a lot of knowledge that we probably think we should be equipped with, we're not equipped with from birth. Like we're not taught these things. I wasn't taught how to manage money. I wasn't taught how to budget. I wasn't taught how to travel the world. The time that my mom grew up with and her siblings, like it was rough, yo. They had to deal with the government bringing drugs into the neighborhoods, the government bringing in the crime into the neighborhood, on top of the violence from people within the neighborhood, and you got violence from the police coming into the neighborhoods and whatever other things they had to deal with at that time. Let's just be very clear. The United States of America, even to this day, is still one of the most racist countries in the world. I can say that as someone who's coming from the South in the United States and who's traveled to different countries and different continents. The United States of America is still one of the racist countries in the world. Is it improving? Yes. Does that mean that the whole United States is a bad country? No. However, it has its issues, it has its problems. Even to this day, as we're speaking, and what's today? Today is April 17th, it is Monday. And even to this day, the average American has no more than 500 US dollars in their bank account. They don't have a savings to back off of. They're living from check to check. And it's not saying that there's something wrong with that. What I'm saying is there's knowledge that isn't being passed down on how to use money correctly. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this video, because I think sometimes we look at some of these shows as entertainment and then we're going from a judgment point of view, and I'm guilty of this. So like I'm not like I'm some special person, like, oh, I have this moral high ground. I don't. I'm guilty of this stuff too. These are things that I work on. And the truth is, like, I have my own I blew it story. Like just because the means of blowing the money may not look the same, or they may not be as toxic compared to drinking, drugs, things like that. Then at the end of the day, not using the money to be able to put your family into a better situation or put yourself into a better footing, you blew it. And I did it too. So I wanted to share this with you because I really want people to see like we have to get past this false ideology or this fairy tale dream like, oh, this is the place I need to go. Once I get here, or if I get this person, oh, then I'll be able to get the dreams of my life. Like, you'll be shocked how many people message me in my TikTok and stuff, and they're like, oh, I like you, oh, this. And I'm like, you don't know nothing about me, yo. Like, minus me being from the United States of America, you don't know anything about me. I could literally be your worst nightmare and you will be miserable. But you're looking at this fantasy, this fairy tale. And I want to just break these myths down because it's time that we start being realistic about what this world is and what opportunity really look like. Because it's not opportunity is in the United States of America and not anywhere else. That's not true at all. And there's just as many rich people here in South Africa than there are in the United States. On a daily basis, I see more expensive cars driven out here than I see in the United States. And so, how did I blow it? After the Iraq War, military, all of that, after I fought for my pension and stuff, and that's one of the things a lot of people don't know. They're like, "Oh, you're in the military; they just pay you for the rest of your life." You have to fight for that. And let me just be very clear about this. This is something no government will ever admit to, but I'm telling you from the perspective of a soldier who went to war. We were not meant to come back home. Not one of us were meant to come back. It was cheaper for us to die over there. And so they let that be known. Now, they may not just straight up and say, like, oh, I wish you would have died over there so we didn't have to pay you. But the way they treat you in the Veteran Affairs hospitals, the disrespect you get when you're going through trying to get help, the way the doctors demean and belittle you and your situation, and then also how they just ignore what the hell you have to say and they just want to shove pills down your throat. All of these things are showing that they did not care about making sure that we came back home and we adjusted back into society. And so, with that being said, like, I had to adjust myself back. The person you see right now, I did this. I put in the hard work to be the person I am now. It wasn't the military, it wasn't the United States government, and it sure as hell wasn't the Veteran Affairs Hospital. At the end of the day, they do not help any veteran that comes through there. And I'm just saying that from pure, it's just from my experience. Some people may be like, oh, yeah, they helped me a little, but I'm just telling you straight up, you do not get the help that you actually need and that you deserve after what you've been through. And so after fighting with the government, the military for about, I think it was about 8 to 10 years, I had to fight with them. And they pretty much tell you, like, you got to go broke. And so after that, I ended up getting my military pension. And we talking about like I had a hard time walking, things like this. I have 10 screws in my back. At that time, I was still walking on a cane and a walker. I was using a walker if I was around the house. And so when I finally got the money, like I was like, okay, man, I'm going to do the right thing. And I'm gonna be real with you. At the moment, I thought I was doing the right thing, but because I didn't have financial knowledge, understanding of money, I blew it. Like this is what we all have to start understanding. Like messing over money does not mean doing toxic things. Most of us mess over money on a daily basis by investing and circulating money into things that doesn't give us a return of interest or an ROI. And so for me, what I was doing, I was paying off all my debt because remember, I had to go broke. I was paying off all my debt, trying to get my credit score up, doing this, did a little bit of things for ourselves. But at the end of the day, I ended up spending so much money into paying off past debts. It made no sense. I ended up blowing the money to pay off past debts. And you may be like, oh, Jason, but you should pay off your debts. No, you shouldn't. And this is the reason why, and this is the understanding I have now as I started studying and learning from people who accumulated amounts of riches and wealth. You need to circulate your money to where it's going to invest and bring you an ROI. Your money needs to bring more money back to you. Now think about this. Let's say I'm not going to give you the exact amount of what all I invested in everything, paid off bills. But let's say if I took 30,000, I had 30,000 US dollars and paid off bills. Not the accurate amount, but let's just say if that's what it is. Of that 30,000, Paying off bills is going to literally give me a zero return of interest. And what I mean by that is it's never going to pay me monthly by paying those bills off. But however, if I would have just went and parked that money somewhere and was able to earn a 10% interest return of interest, I could have been making maybe $3,000 a month, at the very least, or at the most, like however you look at it. And from that, if that was making me $3,000 every month, let me just lower it because 3,000 may seem a lot to a lot of people. Let's say if I was earning $300 a month off of that 30,000 by parking it into different investments. And let's see, right now it is the year 2023. So what's that? It has been, let's just say 15 years. So out of that, bringing in, I don't have let me bring up a calculator real quick. And so just think about it as I'm getting the calculator out, like, how would that look? Like bringing in $300 a month, and then you times that for 12 months. So that means it's bringing in $3,600 a year. But now let's multiply that by 15 years. That $300 a month ROI would have made me $54,000. Guess what? With that 54,000, I could have still paid off my debt at a cheaper rate because I could have done a deal with them and got it up to maybe 70, 80% off. But most importantly, I still would have money coming in every month. Like, this is what I had to learn. And I learned it by by blowing the money, by paying off debt. And the reason why I want to share this with you is I want you to see, like, sometimes even when we think we're doing the responsible thing, we're actually doing something that may not be the best for us. So we need to start looking outside and looking at different ways people approach things. Because if you start looking at things from a different perspective, you're going to start seeing, whoa, I never knew this was possible. I didn't know this was possible when I had the lump sum of money. I didn't know. And when I look at the shows and I see the different people's stories, they didn't know. When they got these lump sums of money, they didn't have financial and people that's actually speaking to them and advising them on how to do it. And when I say financial people, I mean people who make money, not people who went to school or went to university to be like, oh, I'm a financial advisor. Most financial advisors are actually broke. And I'm just going to tell you straight up, don't listen to 99% of the financial advisors out there. If someone's like, oh, I'm a financial advisor, I'm going to help you invest, do this and that, you need to ask them, show me your portfolio and show me how much money you're earning on a monthly basis. And then on top of that, show me your assets versus liabilities. And if they be like, oh, you don't need to know this, or no, I can't show you that, you don't need to invest with them. They're trying to sell you a dream. And so you want to find people who are real financial investors. Like, I listen to people such as Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, Damon John Hope, Bryant, who's an amazing person. Those are the people that I get advice from and I listen to, especially when it comes to money. And so just wanted to share that with you. I know when I first recorded this, the mic was actually off. The mic is on now, so I know you're going to be able to hear it. And really just think about it and start asking yourself a question like, when I get a lump sum of money, what will I do with it? Start asking yourself these questions now. Don't wait until the money's in your account. Because as you start figuring out and learning things